Like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared of college, whatever comes after college, just like surviving, honestly.
Would you say it's true that when we try to fix your problems, we're communicating to you, I don't believe you're capable?
There's nothing to fix. We're being built.
Teenagers are kind of like toddlers.
We have social media, and social media's entire purpose is comparison. There's a lack of confidence in our generation.
We are also figuring this out. The weight of raising godly children is crushing.
Y'all are learning what God has placed inside of you, and you're having to reach out to God in a way that is unique to this season. How can parents do a better job?
Today, we're talking about what our teens wish we knew,
Yeah.
and we are working this out real time. So this is going to be a podcast that is educational for your dad and I, while we hope it's also going to be helpful for everyone else. Whether they have teenagers or not, we're all living in a world with teenagers, and you guys kind of get a bad rap. And so I think this has the potential to really be something very helpful for a lot of people, but if nothing else, I hope it's an opportunity for us to better understand you. So,
Yeah.
thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah.
Should we hop right into
Let's
it?
do it. I think they need to tell everyone their ages too,
Oh, yes.
where they're at in their teenage journey.
I know the last time we were on here, my hair was like here. He still had his braces and
My hair was
like,
here.
Your hair was down
Y'all
there.
had the same hair.
Yeah, so I'm 14.
I am 16.
Yes.
Driving, driver's license.
Yes. Trying to drive.
We did. We had some rides through the neighborhood recently, and you're getting a lot better at driving. It's been fun and scary driving with you.
Yep. So as we hop into what our teens wish we knew, I think first recognizing when your dad and I were teenagers, which was how long ago? since you
Not
were
very
16?
not very
Like
long
30
ago.
years.
I was 16 20 years ago, and you were 16
23 years ago.
23 years ago.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different world, and it would be a different world under any normal circumstances, but I think as a culture we recognize how technology really has widened that gap
Yeah.
from the way we grew up and the unique obstacles that were ours to overcome compared to you guys and what that looks like. And it's human, though, to just assume that your journey is the same as our journey. And I think that even is where a lot of the friction in understanding one another comes from. So that's the purpose of this. It's like, hey, let's just have honest, open communication, because that's what family is. That's the opportunity within family. And again, this is our nuclear family, but we as the family of God, like we're meant to steward one another. So whether people have teenagers or they don't have teenagers, this is about understanding those people who are around you, not just assuming that you know them because of whatever stereotypes exist out there. So that, first of all, it's very different than how we grew up. And yes, so the first that I have on here is teens wish we knew that they feel more pressure than ever. Tell me about that.
How does that land?
I mean,
You're coming out of midterms too, so
yeah. I feel like it's definitely a lot because, in my opinion, this is when we're discovering ourselves in a way, like what we like or our friends or our hobbies, just like everything. And school too, this is when it really matters for college and what you want to do when you grow up. Like it's not middle school anymore where you can just be like, oh, I mean, our grades are important, but it won't really matter until high school. Like, it's definitely different for me too because I just came out of a co-op. It's kind of weird for me, but I also like the transition, but it's definitely weirder in ways. What about you, Ash?
I mean, I would say in comparison with like your generation, we have social media, and social media's entire purpose is comparison, because when we compare, like that's all we think about, and we just want to be better and better and show people and put on like a false lens. And honestly, like even in school, everyone is like so worried about themselves and the way they look, how they act. And the funny thing is, everyone else is so wrapped up in themselves that nobody notices. And it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So
With you guys not having access to social media, because we've, believed that it wasn't helpful in this stage, what you're saying, but obviously it still affects you.
Yeah.
So talk to me kind of about that. Like, how is it just inescapable for parents who are like, well, I'm not going to give my kids social media on their personal devices, or they don't have a social media account, but that doesn't eliminate that as a part of your world, does it?
not at all.
No, because with your friends, and it's like about the photos if you go somewhere, and we both look cute, we should take a photo, or like you can't exactly get out of that in a way, just because someone is always going to have social media. And it really depends on the relationship and the friend, but that will either like make you feel left out in a way, or that you really want it, because if you don't, you're going to miss what's happening, which is like hard. Because I actually saw this video, and it was funny because it was high school starting I think in 1980 all the way up to here, and it was weird seeing the transition, because like back then they'd have the little cameras and everyone just knew each other, but now it's just like I'll talk to you on Snapchat every day, but I won't even like look at you in real life,
Wow.
So
Yeah, I would say specifically at school, the connections I have with people are very shallow.
yeah.
But with some of them, it's actually so much better because I don't have social media, and they know that, and they can't communicate with me like that. So they actually have to communicate with me. And those are my best friends.
Wow.
But I mean, I see it all the time. Kids don't talk to each other. They don't interact. They don't care. And then once you're on social media, it's like you're suddenly best friends.
Yeah.
And it's because you can hide behind a mask on social media. And there's a lack of confidence in our generation. And so we just want to find any way we can to, hide from reality, and a reality we believe about ourselves. So.
Wow.
Do you feel like in any way, if you're able to convince other people that you're that person, you'll somehow convince yourself you're that person?
I think, yes. I think there is a level of, if everyone else believes this about me, then it'll be like true, and I won't feel like such a poser. I would say though, like you never actually believe that about yourself, because there's always something you want to be like better at and better for.
Yeah.
So it'll never be enough unless you just accept who you are and grow through that. But that's not what we do. We build like a fake person and then try to grow out of that. But there's nothing to grow out of. So you're just stuck.
Groceries are wildly expensive now. We have 4 children, and so cooking for a family of 6 is no joke. I have loved, though, being on a subscription with Good Ranchers, where the meat comes to our house, and then I'm able to see what's missing, what I need for meals for the week. It's a game changer, and it's great meat. I mean, I am a food snob, and it is excellent meat in our freezer. We just get it out. They even have these easy thaw bags. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
Julie, what's amazing is if people subscribe and use the code Beveres, okay, so that's just simple Beveres, our last name, they can get up to $500 off in 1 year. Is that amazing?
Yeah.
And they get additional $25 off their first order.
That's right, Addison. Code Beveres. Go to goodranchers.com. American meat delivered.
So Asher, what I'm hearing you say is there's this idea, because we're not honest about where we're at right now. And I think this isn't just true for teenagers. I think this is true for all of us because we're all becoming, all of us. And of course, the teenage season, it's heightened because so much is changing about who you are as a person. You're going from childhood into the first season of adulthood. And so there's profound disorientation. But this principle remains true for the rest of our lives. And I think it's a part of the reason why there is so much discomfort with the idea of ourselves is because we work so hard to fabricate something.
Yeah.
And then I love what you shared. Then we try to convince ourselves that that's real, and we try to convince others that that's real. But then we're also trying to project this idea of growth, but we haven't located who we are real.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't really understand what growth looks like. And it becomes this muddled idea of ourselves and our purpose or whatever it may be. And then it's a cycle. We keep going back to it again and again and again. And I mean, I think it's amazing that you were able to even articulate that. What have you found for you as you're navigating this season of disorientation? What have you found to be something that is grounding, that allows you to be more honest about your strengths, your weaknesses, your fears, your hopes, in the midst of a season where there is so much change happening around you and within you?
Yeah, I think if you start with the negatives about yourself, you're never going to get anywhere. So something that's really helpful for me is I'll calm down and I'll evaluate myself and I'll just think about everything that's good and great about me and stuff I can be confident about and show people I'm confident about. And from that, I can be like, okay, here's areas where I need to grow. And instead of being like, I'm such a loser, like I'm failing in so many areas, I can be like, okay, there are things about me that are really wonderful. And I can just dwell in that area. And I can grow in other areas through being confident.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not arrogant, just confident. Because arrogance stems from insecurity, and you only have insecurity by looking at everything you don't like about yourself.
Mm.
And if you start with the good stuff, it's confidence. So,
Yeah, I like what Asher said because you could start with the negatives and it'll go on forever and ever, even if none of it's true. Like even if you've never done any of it or anything, it'll just keep going and going. Like if I just started making a list, I feel like y'all would be like, what? None of that's ever happened. None of it's true. It's just so hard because you can't see that
Yeah.
until like after in some ways. But
Yeah.
if you start by saying like positive things, it'll really change your perspective in many ways and it'll just help you see the truth. And it's also really good, in my opinion, to tell other people that if you see them struggling through that, like, oh, I love your outfit today, or no, it looks good, don't change it. Like, it really, even if you can't see, or they'll be like, oh, stop. Like, it really impacts them in a way, in my opinion.
You're
So,
saying even if they pretend like it
like,
doesn't
oh,
really
stop,
matter.
that's not true. Like,
Yeah.
it impacts them. So I feel like it's good to show someone like a compliment a day. Like, it helps in many ways. So
I would say being a teenager is like walking through a fog
yeah.
and reaching out for anything that looks substantial. And in this season, there are so many things culture puts before us as substantial. And when we reach for them, they just dissipate. And we end up feeling alone, lost, confused. And I would just encourage like parents and, peers to just reach out and give, their friends and children something to grab because they will hold on to that.
Okay, I think that's so good. Can we hit that a little more?
Sure.
Like how this idea of something of substance, you mentioned friends and family. I love what you just shared, and I think that's right on. How can parents do a better job? Like how can we do a better job presenting substance to you in this season when you're walking through a fog? Because I know sometimes we make the mistake, let's just say, of trying to convince you with a really strong tone or with a really convincing argument or whatever it might be. I know I've done that. And sometimes you hear other times like, no, I can't receive that, or I can't hear what you're saying. How do you think we can do a better job coming alongside you and presenting substance?
Well, for me, I'd say just being there to listen and letting me speak and just explain my situation and really talk about it. And obviously it can be different from different people. Some people just need space for a little while and then
Yeah.
communication. Some people just want straight communication. But honestly, all of it is tied to just communicating and being there, just letting them know like, hey, I'm here to talk, and not like, hey, I'm here if you want to talk at some point in your life. No, like, hey, I'm here like
Right this
forever.
second.
If you need me right now, just come to me. And letting them know that they won't be, judged for just being them. Because
Yeah.
that's something we're really afraid of, is being judged and criticized.
So that open communication is key.
Yeah.
That open communication, because that was another one that I wanted to hop to off of what you said, Ash. They want to be heard more than fixed. But do you feel like that's because it's in our nature to want to solve your problems for you, but it doesn't seem like that ever strengthens the relationship.
Especially, I would say, because so much of the formative years involves us getting in and being problem solver for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big part of our parental role
Yeah.
for a large season of your lives. And so now there is an element of having to release that type of role in your lives. And I love, Asher, I love what you shared about presence and the idea of attention. And we've talked about this before with the at-home community, but that attention is the currency of our day. Attention is the most valuable thing that you can give to people in a world where people are spending, on average 5 to 6 hours a day staring at their phone. Giving someone your undivided attention, a sacrifice of attention, the gift of presence speaks so much in itself. And that's what I was hearing you say, Asher, is it might not be words. It might just be the fact that, like, hey, I see you. I'm here with you. I might not be saying anything right now because that's actually not what you need. You need space, but I want you to know that my presence is not like, that's not leaving. Like, I'm not leaving you. I'm in this with you, whatever that needs to look like.
So I would say when it comes to, thinking about fixing a teenager's problems and doing it for them as parents, you can't. If you try to do that, they don't learn anything. They don't want it to happen, because we want to learn. We want to grow. We want to grow up ultimately.
Yeah.
Would you say it's true that when we try to fix your problems, we're communicating to you, I don't believe you're capable of doing this yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Because right now we are on a journey of self-discovery, and we need to know that we can make it in life. Because honestly, for me specifically, like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared of college, whatever comes after college, just like surviving, honestly.
Yeah.
And I want to know that I have the social skills to make it. So I would say it's
Are social skills your top priority?
probably not.
I mean, but they are. I mean, they are a very important
They are a
part of
very
life.
important
Like,
part of life.
our life flourishes at the intersection of relationships. So
Thank
that
you.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, but I would say, like, you can't fix a person, specifically a teenager, because there's nothing to fix.
Yeah.
We're being built.
Wow.
So
That's profound.
I feel like we need your support more than, I mean, I wouldn't say advice, because we definitely need your advice, because y'all have gone through this, but I don't know, what would be the word?
I think
like
support.
critical.
Like lecturing.
Yeah. So like more support than lecturing, because we can't hear in a way you'd want us to hear, which is hard. Because I was thinking when he was saying this, like teenagers are kind of like toddlers. Like we don't, like things go over our head, normally what you want us to hear. And it's hard because then like everyone ends up exhausted and it's just a lot. But if you like give us support before advice, I feel like it works better. Like getting on good terms or just being there and then like sharing what you think we need or how to handle a situation or anything like that. So
I love that. So what I'm hearing you say, Sophia, is that you want what we can give you as your parents, as people who've gone before you, but before you can receive what we have to offer, you have to know that we're in this with you. The messiness of becoming, that we believe in you, that our actions, how we engage your challenge is not like, hey, let me take this back and do it for you.
yeah.
Our communication is, hey, I'm here with you. I'm by your side. But ultimately, like, I believe that you can do this, and I'm here for you, and I'm going to be a support to you. I'm gonna regularly show up. My presence is going to be a supporting presence, but I'm not gonna step in and devalue your journey of becoming by trying to be that force in your life. Because ultimately, like, y'all are learning what God has placed inside of you, and you're having to reach out to God in a way that is unique to this season, in ways that you haven't had to connect with God or understand God before this season, because your mother and I, we provided a different type of covering. I'm not saying that we don't have a spiritual covering over our house. Y'all are 16 and 14. You're in our house, and your mom and I recognize that authority. But a part of us exercising our authority is making sure that you're growing in your own authority and in your own understanding of how God is forming you and shaping you to release you into a greater season of purpose and identity and service, which is where you will flourish and thrive for decades to come. And yes, you're always going to be a part of our family, but there will be a new part of you that extends our family in a way that our family just currently doesn't extend. And that's beautiful and that's wonderful.
Yeah. And I do think something that we could do better is, and this is just coming to me, so bear with me as I put it into language. You both do have a new level of authority as humans, as no longer being children, but moving into adulthood. And we feel that. Like, we do not have 4 children in our home anymore who are all subject to our presence and our tone. We have 2 adolescents, and we have fought y'all for almost like reigning. Like, no, we're the king and queen, and you are the children. And that's not how it is anymore. So instead of inviting you into this opportunity of like, hey, you, and I feel like we do this, but we do it in a corrective way. Like, you guys are strong forces in this home, and this atmosphere is garbage. Take some responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, like, you have a younger brother, you have a younger sister, you have these direct influences beneath you, and you do have incredible influence on our home, on the atmosphere. How can we steward this together less than just come under us?
Yeah, like how do we control you?
Does that make sense
change
what I'm
this?
trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay, what would you say to these statements? Being corrected too quickly shuts you down.
Yeah, I agree with that.
True or false?
For real.
True.
So what are the times of correction that you have felt like I was able to receive that? Or maybe you don't even see it as correction because it was done so well.
Wow.
I mean, it really just depends on the situation. But
Because if being corrected too quickly shuts you down, then the opposite of that would be,
Well, if I could,
yeah.
it's something about correction, and maybe this is helpful. I feel like correction is always a bit jolting. Like, it's easy to talk about correction theoretically when you're not in the midst of it, but typically when there's correction being brought in a circumstance, I feel like it's normally not done perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of what makes it healthy versus unhealthy correction is almost how you read the cues and stay sensitive to what's happening in the atmosphere environment as you're bringing the correction. At least for me as a parent,
Yeah.
I think about times where like my pride causes me to double down and I just get more intense. I say the same thing, but I just say it louder instead of being like, okay, hey, if my correction really is about this other person, am I paying attention to whether they can hear me and that they can receive what I'm saying? Or am I trying to check a box and do the thing because I need to take care of that because I'm the dad? And what a dad does is he brings strength and safety to a home by correcting what needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking about for me.
Yeah.
And I've seen those times, and particularly with Asher, like becoming a man, where when I take that approach, and he's a challenger, and I respect this, and I do love this about you. Like, he's a challenger. Asher is a strong young man, and he is going to be a force for the kingdom of God. Like, he just is. And so when I come at him, and the reality is, and we joke about this, like the reality is, your prefrontal cortex is still being developed and is developing until you're like in your mid-20s. So there's this element of when we're in those moments, it's not all rational communication.
Yeah.
And I make the mistake as a dad being like, why aren't you communicating rationally with me? You should be communicating rationally. And now I'm going to hold you responsible for not communicating rationally to me, which just makes it even worse, where I'm doubling down on I'm right because I'm being rational and you're wrong because you're being irrational. And then you, because you're such a challenger, it's like a stronger challenge. And I'm like, no, all right, well, I'm going to be more rational. And now this is the effect. And it's just like, no, what I've realized with Asher is I have to take a step back and realize I don't get to be the teenager in our dynamic. Like, there's only one teenager, and that's you. My prefrontal cortex is fully developed, right? I know this is like, so I don't get to participate in that way. And I normally have to come back to you, Asher, and apologize to you and be like, hey, Asher, I mishandled that. I made that more difficult for you than I should have. And going back to the idea of correction, because I don't want parents to hear this and be like, man, if I don't correct perfectly, then I'm not in a position to correct. It's like, no, actually, what I would encourage parents to hear is like, you do have a responsibility to correct, but your correction is for service. And so we need to be humble and sensitive to the Spirit of God in those moments. And I think some of the most impactful moments we've had, and so maybe you can speak to this, is actually when we come back and we humble ourselves to you. And then it's like, it's this binding agent where the correction lands, but then also there's an understanding of, you know what, this is actually how you would be able to receive it better in the future.
Yeah.
Anything you say to that?
Yeah.
He's like, if you could just stop correcting me altogether. I'm just kidding.
Well, that was my first. But I would honestly, even like hearing you say all of this clearly on a podcast, I would say it's almost like all of the struggle could be avoided if we both took a step back, took some deep, like a real step back, not like, Asher, take some deep breaths, because I'm never going to take deep breaths.
You're like,
I also feel like you guys are really similar.
Mm-hmm.
So when y'all fight, it's like a mirror,
Yeah.
Because you're both wise and you're both just like, you know what to say, which can be annoying. But
Yeah.
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 that's really good.
Yeah, but you were saying, thank you,
some
Sylvia.
deep
That's really
breaths.
good. But take some deep breaths, and not just like, hey, take a couple deep breaths so you agree with what I'm saying after you take
Yeah.
those deep breaths.
Yeah, never going to happen.
If you had oxygen, you would see it clearly.
Yeah.
See, honestly, the times where it's been a lot better has been moments where like I've been forced to step back. Like it's gotten so bad and you're like, go to your room. And I go to my room and I'm only in there for like 2 minutes, take some deep breaths, actually take deep breaths because nobody's telling me I have to.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Breathe.
because I think this is true for many people very quickly.
Yeah.
I know I'm wrong. I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Because I've had time to process and my underdeveloped prefrontal cortex is starting to come around. So I come back downstairs and I apologize. And it's clarity comes when I give myself space to think.
Mm.
And that's probably true for everyone. Because when you can think it over, you realize a lot of just like, this is totally pointless. I'm wrong. I'm just doing this to, make a statement like, hey, I just need to feel like I know what I'm talking about. Because often there's a lack of knowledge, for me, and I get really defensive because I know I'm wrong and I just don't know how to get back out.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have time to think about it, I'm like, the simple thing to do is just apologize and it can just all be done.
Yeah. So would you add anything?
I mean, it's definitely hard in those moments to humble yourself. And then when anything in your mind's like, well, yeah, you're like, no, but they did this, and then you start a list and everything. But I feel like,
And when you stay in our presence,
yeah, then it's
is it especially difficult?
You just keep getting mad, but if you're by yourself,
just in a quiet place, just
your brain can't
you and your thoughts.
your brain can't focus on something for a very long time unless you re-stoke that fire.
Mm.
So if you have time to think and your brain starts to focus on the truth as opposed to being like, I'm so mad, I'm so mad, I'm so mad.
Yeah.
Like your brain does not focus on something for that long.
Yeah.
And it'll change and you'll be like, oh my gosh. But when I'm in the space where,
It's going down.
the perpetrators are, I lose it. I can't
Perpetrator.
focus because they're
Mhm.
not gonna name names, but they're right there, and I'm like, I keep getting mad because I can see what I'm mad
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
When I can't, it just
Wow.
slowly simmers out, and I'm like, wow, maybe I'm the perpetrator.
It was me all along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we're honest, it's pretty much always it was us.
Yeah. Well, certainly the way we handle it, because we are adult teenagers. And so in some ways there is a lot of
What do you mean by that? Hold on.
Yeah, what do
Because
you
you just
mean
said
by
we're
that?
adult teenagers. That sounds like an oxymoron. So what do you mean by that?
It does. We are also figuring this out. And I think sometimes, and I won't speak for your dad, I can have a low-lying shame that I haven't figured it all out.
100%. You
Or
can speak for me.
I wasn't, a lot of times those poor correction moments are because we were distracted.
Yeah.
Or we're really busy,
Mhm.
or we're
Compromised,
tired, or
yeah.
we're hungry.
Yeah.
Like some of it is basic human needs. And something happens. And as a parent who is dedicated to doing things God's way, I want to discipline. I want to correct. I
Yeah.
want to guide you. I want to know that I am doing everything that is my responsibility to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm not doing that within the unforced rhythms of grace, it looks like me doing it in my own strength, which is an adult teenager.
That's so good.
Like, we're both teenagers, but I'm the adult.
I have the authority.
So I may meet you on your level, but at the end of the day, I am the authority.
Yeah.
And so it becomes just a clash, like two bulls fighting. It's not discipleship.
That's so good, Julie.
But the weight of it, guys, and you won't know until you know. And then you'll be so thankful for your parents.
Mm-hmm.
that day is going to just be so glorious. You won't know until you know the weight.
Yeah.
And God designed it that way, that the weight of raising children, raising godly children, is crushing at times. And it's meant to be crushing. Like the humanity, the I can do this in my own strength should be crushed out of us if we're going to do it in a way that is spirit breathed, spirit led. But it's a slow work and life gets full and busy.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times that's why what you're saying when it comes to correction, where it's like it's going to come out wrong. If parents have this standard of every time I correct, it's going to be slow and I'm just going to give tons of space to meet them there and ask a lot of questions and have curiosity, it's never going to look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always happen in the right order, but those
Yeah.
elements should be a part of the process. Even if you get it out of order, humbling yourself as a parent, like, hey, you know, I didn't do this right initially, but that doesn't mean I can't do it right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to double down. I'm going to humble myself and realize that a part of this challenge, this complication, is me projecting my own stuff onto my child, who's really not a child anymore, becoming an adult. And that, as you said, in itself presents a whole slew of challenges that we move through.
And that's where I do believe that humility is the only way to do this well, because we're going to mess up.
Mm.
So humility needs to be at the ready of any kind of conflict, of any kind of hard conversation, where it's just always this like avenue to circle back with humility. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Sophia, I know I reacted strongly to your midterm grade. And I took your phone.
Real. This is real right here.
And I took your phone right away. But the humility of like, I didn't know what to do, but I knew something had to be done. And
You grasp for the easiest.
and I grasped for the most effective,
Yeah.
easiest, like, well, hand me your phone.
Yeah.
I think that's so key, where it's like, you guys expect to be humble. Like you said, you go up to your room, you realize, oh, the way I responded, or however, whatever it is, I messed up. Parents can see humility as weakness. And that's a huge mistake, because humility is the key. Like, now we shouldn't be groveling at your feet like, oh, just like us. Think that we're cool. We are cool. We're so likable. I like you. You like me.
There we go.
Yeah.
But that it's like, this relationship is important. And because you're teenagers, we have a limited amount of time left with you.
Yeah.
And so that time factor, that it's like, oh, we need to do everything that we need to do in this limited amount of time left, can cause us to act in a way that is unhelpful
Yeah.
to the very purpose that we're trying to achieve.
Now, Julie, what I'm hearing you say, and this is something that we've shared with our at-home community quite a bit, is this idea that humility creates safety.
Mm-hmm.
And humility is not weakness. Humility is strength. In order for you to be humble, you have to actually understand your authority and your position. And from that place of security, you can serve. I think about what Jesus did. It's such a beautiful model. Though he was the greatest, though he was teacher, he's the one who took on the form of the servant and washed their feet. And he was embodying an example, like, hey, the person who's the most secure, the guys in the room, they were actually arguing over who was the greatest. And then he responded to their argument with an example. And he said, hey, if you're secure, you're actually going to be able to take the posture and take the form of the servant. And I think it's a great challenge for parents at least I feel this, like, a part of the humility is curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about who our young adults, who they're becoming. And I do think that is something that I'm hearing from y'all is, hey, you want us to be curious.
Mm-hmm.
You want us to engage with you in a way where we're helping you draw out the reality of who you are and how you're becoming without coming in and dictating all of it. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Any parting words for how parents could best do that?
I mean, I feel like if your teen tells you something, grades, friends, anything, to take a step back and reevaluate before jumping to something, it's really helpful because, like I said, support and then advice or lecturing. Because in this situation, I feel like teens look for support and attention and friends, sometimes just because they don't feel enough attention from parents or trusted adults or anything like that. I feel like we're just looking for attention in a wrong way when we really just need it in a right way from our parents. So attention first and then lecturing. So taking a step back, evaluating, and then just speaking what you have to say into that situation.
It's really wise. Ash?
I agree with what Sophia said. Just first showing your child that you hear what they're saying, because that's really important to us. And then communicating. And it's so hard to receive information if you don't feel like your parents are actually hearing you.
Mm.
And then you just you don't care. Like, I don't care if I don't feel like y'all are hearing me. And that sounds harsh, but that's just how it is. So
Yeah, that's true in a lot of adult to adult relationships also.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel devalued or dehumanized, you don't want to receive from those people, even if what they're offering you is really good things, because there's not trust.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what trust and love is. Thank you guys both for coming on, sharing so much wisdom. I just want to encourage our listeners, the families, share this with people who have teenagers or do any kind of work in the sphere of teens. It's important that we humble ourselves to receive information. So thank you for being just willing to come and share from the in-between state that you're at right now. You don't have it all figured out, but you are both growing and you're incredible. And it's my totally non-biased opinion. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love y'all.
Maybe you want to just pray over everyone
absolutely.
listening. And
Absolutely. God, we thank you that you call us your children, and everything that comes with that. I think it's incredible that you invite us into a journey of becoming like you, and to also lead others as parents in and through that journey of becoming. So God, I pray for a supernatural grace and strength for all of us, as we're realizing what it is to be mature children of God. And Father, I pray that you would bind the families together in a world where there's so much strife, so much division, so many attacks of the enemy against family. I pray that families would be strong, that they would be united in humility and respect and godliness, in a commitment to growth in the process that you're working out in our lives individually and collectively. God, I do pray for peace. I pray for strength over homes. And God, I pray that you would give parents wisdom to navigate these teenage years, to navigate what it is to lead our kids well, that you give us wisdom as we walk this out with your Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.